A small camera shouldn't feel small, and the Fujifilm XM5 proves something to me. You don't need to spend $2,000 for a camera that makes you feel like a creator. This thing shoots 6.2K open gate, f-log2, 10-bit 422. It looks stylish, it weighs almost nothing, yet somehow it never makes you feel like a beginner. When cameras get cheap, we usually expect compromises. Weak sensors, soft video, strange crop modes. One of those 1.5, 1.6 times crop if you want to film in 60 FPS. Something that reminds you, yeah, you bought the entry-level one, but the XM5 didn't do that to me. Fujifilm built something different here. A lightweight, affordable camera that feels like a real tool. Not at all. Something you can learn on today and still be proud of 1 year later. And honestly, we need more cameras like this. Cameras that invite beginners in without trapping them in beginner mode. The XM5 is small, like shockingly small. You need to put it in your hands to realize how small it is. It is light, it is under 300 grams. It's lighter than my phone with a case on it. But here's the truth. It does feel cheap. Not fragile, just cheap. Hollow plastics, a lightweight body that feels almost toy-like. If you're expecting the dense, solid feel of an XT body, this is not that. But the design still looks good. You get the magnesium top plate, the classic Fujifilm aesthetic, the simple controls, the film simulation dial, and a fully articulating screen. The grip is okay, it's not amazing, but usable. And if you pair it with the Fujinon 35 f1.4, suddenly this camera becomes a vibe. It becomes something you actually want to pick up. So my impressions on using the XM5 is that it is light. The camera is very, very light. And I think that it is too light because even with the 16mm, which is quite a massive lens, this is a 16mm f1.4, it's very front heavy. Yeah, so it definitely has some fatigue on the wrist, but with all that said, the pictures that you saw earlier, this thing is sublime. This thing, I have no complaints when it comes to quality. I'm not saying that you don't need to learn to edit. Yeah, it's a very, very nice skill to have, but then this camera can produce images that are awesome, that are very, very nice, that, again, doesn't make you feel like a beginner. Now, I have to be honest with you, the lenses I'm using are not really beginner-friendly lenses. They are not the kit lens that the camera comes with. Yeah, although Fujifilm does have very, very good kit lenses. So my choice of lenses would be one, the 16mm that I'm using right now. It gives you an equivalent of 24mm on full frame, but it's f1.4, so you have this really, really wide angle lens that will show you the environment that you're taking photographs with. And on top of that, it has a really, really close focusing distance. So yeah, it's amazing. The second one is the 35 f1.4. That's a legendary Fuji lens. That's equivalent to about a 50mm. Now, I'm being stupid here. I didn't bring my ND filter, but we got lucky. It's a cloudy day out here. So I'm just going to demonstrate a bit how the video performance of this camera is. You just flip out the camera. Yeah, this is the video performance of the camera. Yeah, it's not the most compelling review of its video features, but I will one day use an ND filter, do it properly for you guys. But yeah, currently, here you go. Again, there's no IBIS. This is electronic stabilization. Does it matter? Maybe, but I haven't extensively used it yet. So yeah, I can't really speak much. Right, so this is a sample of a talking head taken on the XM5 that a lot of us will do when we're doing content. Now, here's the thing. I'm not using any lights. I haven't turned on a single light. This entire thing is being lit by sunlight. It is being lit by my window to about 45 degrees to my left. So yeah, I'm making sure it's coming in at an angle so my face doesn't look very flat. I'm trying to shift my body towards the window so the camera is taking the shadow side of things so it doesn't look that flat. Right, so as long as you know what you're doing, this camera can produce results. You don't need very, very expensive lights. They are nice to have. Yes, the lens is not cheap. 16mm f1.4 is not exactly a budget lens, but these are results. I'm happy with it. Oh yeah, on top of the lens, I'm also using my Moment Cinebloom 10%. And this is what you get, really. Here's where the XM5 punches way above its price. You get 6.2K open gate. Do you know how rare that is? Even the newest Nikon ZR doesn't shoot an open gate. You get 10-bit 422 internal, f-log2, and even Blackmagic RAW with an external recorder. This is literally the cheapest 6K open gate camera you can buy right now. And the files, way better than an $800 camera should be. I shot everything with noise reduction off, sharpness off, and graded it in DaVinci Resolve using a simple, powerful workflow. Here's my node tree. Node 1, exposure and contrast, just balancing the image. Node 2, white balance adjustment. I fix white balance before the transform, so CST reacts naturally. Node 3, saturation using the HSV method. I adjust the saturation there for more control. Node 4, color space transform, f-log2 to every log-C and every white gamut, because I learned it off YouTube. Instant big camera color without fighting the gamma. Node 5, dehancer, that's my print film emulation. Maybe a touch of halation, maybe a tiny bloom. No grain, no film damage, no extreme looks. Just a soft cinematic finish that makes the XM5 footage look more expensive than it is. Skin tone smooth out, contrast becomes gentle. 6.2K open gate gives you room to reframe without losing a lot of quality. Dynamic range sits around 13 usable stops, and the highlight roll-off is surprisingly mature for the price. No, this isn't an FX3, but it also doesn't feel like a beginner camera. This is where the XM5 quietly shines. Paired with a Fujinon 35 f1.4, the photos feel romantic. Yeah, I have another filter on it. It's the Glimmer Glass from K&F. It's almost nostalgic. You get that old school Fujifilm rendering, gentle micro contrast, dreamy highlight transitions, and just enough softness to feel human without losing sharpness. Even though the camera is tiny, the files don't feel tiny. 13 clean stops, great colors straight out of camera, the classic film emulations. You can even search the internet for Fujifilm recipes, and a sensor that strikes a good balance between sharp and organic. This is a bring everywhere camera, light enough to forget, strong enough to bring home real work.
1, 2, 3, terakhir ya. 1, 2, 3. Oke, terima kasih.
So, right, the images you saw of that boy earlier, I took with Fujifilm recipes. That is, I think, the biggest draw to this camera, to these cameras anyway, Fujifilm, where you just throw the settings on the cameras and you come up with very, very nice looking pictures, actually, which are very difficult to replicate on Lightroom. So yeah, it's one of the biggest draws to this camera. Here's the honest part. Fujifilm has improved a lot. They're still not Sony or Canon. The XM5 autofocus is faster than all the Fujifilm bodies, smarter with eye detection, and surprisingly reliable when set up properly. For video, these settings might help you. AF mode, wider tracking. AFC custom lock-on behavior, AF responsiveness -2 or -3, AF speed +1 or +2, subject detection on with face priority. With these adjustments, the XM5 locks on better than expected. Not perfectly, but definitely usable even for beginners, and that's the point. No camera is perfect, especially under $800. $800! So here are the trade-offs. Number 1, there's no IBIS. Digital stabilization helps, but it's not a replacement for real sensor shift. IBIS. You can help by buying a gimbal later on when you have the budget to. Number 2, there's no EVF. If you shoot outdoors a lot, you'll miss it. The screen isn't the brightest thing in the world. Number 3, battery life. It's fine, not great, bring extras. Number 4, rolling shutter. 6K is okay. 4K 60 crops in a bit and can overheat during long takes. Number 5, Something that I mentioned earlier, the camera feels a bit cheap, not in performance, purely in materials. The plastics feel hollow, the body feels a bit toy-like. It doesn't have that premium Fujifilm density. I'm not expecting Leica quality, but yeah, you get what I mean. It looks good, but that's the thing, it just feels cheap. You can actually go out and buy cages and L plates from Small Rig and other brands that will help you out a lot. In fact, buy one, I need to get one for myself. That said, none of these are deal breakers at the price. These are reasonable trade-offs. The XM5 is for people who want to start photography or videography or both, but don't want a camera that screams, I'm new at this. Most beginner cameras feel like training wheels. Plastic menus, soft sensors, no real features. The XM5 gives you a real sensor, real colors, real video codecs, real flexibility, real Fujifilm soul, and a real platform to grow with. It's a beginner camera that doesn't treat you like a beginner. Beginners deserve good tools, not watered-down versions of real cameras. And that's why the XM5 matters. It doesn't limit you. It doesn't talk down to you. It feels like a toy, but it really isn't. It feels like a small, stylish, capable camera that wants you to create. If you want something light, affordable, and powerful enough to grow with you from your first film simulation to your first proper CST and enhancer grade, the Fujifilm XM5 might be the best place to start. Lastly, let's address the elephant in the room, the Sony a6400. That is possibly the single most recommended camera to beginners everywhere. It has an EVF, yes, but it's a bit long in the tooth. These days, with the demand of video work getting more and more important, you really need 10-bit 422. The video on the a6400 is 8-bit. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, I'm saying it's unforgiving. You expose it wrong, you maybe push the colors around a bit, and it breaks apart. I've been through that, trust me. So yeah, I've given it some thought, and in my opinion, this replaces that camera as the king of cameras for beginners. See you in the next one.